Hello, welcome back to Galactic Reviews.
Hey!
Yeah, and we watched the movie Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah!
just want to start off and say this movie is probably the best Kung Fu Panda movie in the franchise. It tops everything else. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This movie is probably the best Kung Fu Panda movie in the franchise. It tops. If you or anyone you know have been affected by furries, you can reach out.
Robert's here.
A
Hi,
new
Robert.
challenger appears.
All right, Robert, whenever you join in. We've all gone around the Zoom meeting telling everybody our insecurities, and so it's your turn now. I'm just kidding,
I
dude.
guess
Don't say it.
Yeah, don't.
'Cause Thomas will use it on your next podcast.
Hi, welcome back to the Real Guys Podcast.
Yeah!
He was ready with that one. All right. Hello, and welcome back to Galactic Reviews, and we watched the new movie Kung Fu Panda 4. Thought there was some good elements to it. Thought the storytelling had some good elements in it, and some of the characters had some good moments. But there's a lot of problems that I have with this movie. Hence why I don't think it's a great or good Kung Fu Panda film, but I don't think it's a horrible film either. There are still some moments where you see the sort of brilliance that the I don't know if brilliance is the right word. I think they stumbled upon things that would have been good utilized, but they just didn't utilize them well in this movie. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10 to start it off. Kind of leave it there, kind of give a little bit to it, kind of leave it vague so that way Zach can't say that anything about it, even if he hasn't watched it. So Zach, your go.
I
Oh,
watched
Zach.
this one this time.
Okay.
Wait, Robert, did
Just
you watch
because I
this?
didn't watch The Beekeeper doesn't mean it wasn't a good movie.
Oh, Beekeeper? No, haven't watched it yet, man.
Dude,
But
you
y'all
gotta
can,
watch it. It's a good movie.
yeah, y'all can talk about it if you want to, cause I'm gonna definitely see it. But I'm sure all the most you can talk about it probably won't do it justice. So it's all good.
Oh, Jason
You see Kung
Statham's
Fu
in it.
Panda
That's
4?
about as much as.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to know.
But I give Kung Fu Panda 4 7. Personally, it has its flaws. I definitely like the I guess the idea of Poe being, I guess, promoted to the whole nother level inside that universe, and I thought that was pretty cool to see. It was very predictable in the fact that he was going to find his new Dragon Warrior on his own. So that wasn't really surprising, which was why I brought it down some as well. But still, I mean, overall, it could have been better, but at the end of the day, it is the fourth movie, so you can never get better than the first, in my personal opinion. So definitely a 7 at the end of the day.
Andrew.
Kung Fu Panda 4 gets the number that it is in the series. It is also 4. I just didn't think this movie needed to be made, or at least with the plot that it did. I didn't have any huge issues with like any of the characters. It was mainly just the story. Promoting in the universe, I think he's just too young because old Uguay was like an old fart and had centuries of legends before he got that level. And I feel like Poe still has a lot of like left in him before he's fully mentoring others. Because in the third one, he got past the role of master and learned to teach others, and I thought that was good. And then before I saw this, I was like, what? Every movie has a hurdle for him to overcome, and so what are they just gonna have him overcome? I don't like that they had him overcome giving up everything that he learned to accept over the first three movies, for something more. I feel like something more could have just been something else. I don't like that it didn't have the Furious Five in it. I miss Tigress, my queen. Um, yeah.
You're right, Zach. Andrew is a furry.
Can't
Comes
tell me
full
Angelina
circle.
Jolie doesn't have a great voice. She's got a really attractive voice, and
I'm not
also
saying she doesn't.
woman, tall, attractive woman that could beat me up. Okay, I'm the one at fault.
Might I introduce
Um,
you to Gina Carano?
Again, but it just doesn't meet up to the other three as far as like it just felt like it was missing like something. It just felt like I had a special element that I couldn't quite pick out that all the other three movies had. But yeah, so it's like it didn't need to be made the way it was.
And Zach's leaving. Okay.
Isaac.
Hope you
I'll
find your
go. I'll
dad.
go. I'll go. Let's
Kung Fu Panda
see.
3 reference. Oh no. Kung Fu
So
Panda 2 reference. No, that's an elf reference. Oh my goodness. I'm dumb. Oh my goodness. That's an elf reference.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell him. Let's see. Talked a lot of like bad about this movie, which it was pretty bad, so like it deserves it. But some good things I'd say is probably Jack Black's performance in like the whole thing. I think he does really well. He could have like easily just like I guess underperformed, but I think like he still found a way to like show a little emotion even though this wasn't that deep of a movie as far as like Kung Fu Panda like movies go. Like the first three have like a big lesson and a big moment, especially the first two, where it's like he's finding about himself, and these were just kind of shallow. Like when he learns his lesson, it's kind of like a toss away moment that like happens between him and his like two dads, which is like I don't know, it's more like it's more epic in the other three. So like there's that. The villains thing was kind of weird, but it was still nice seeing all of them, even though it wasn't really them. I just it felt like wasted potential this entire movie. That's what it kind of felt like. I'd give it probably like a 5 or 6 because it did make me laugh and stuff. And gotta love Jack Black, but it was missing so much though. So that's my review.
All right, Zach.
One thing we haven't talked about, the animation. I
Mm,
enjoyed the animation for this movie. I thought it was
nice.
thanks. I thought it was pretty good. Um, very different from the other three movies' animation. I think it seemed a little bit more refined, in my opinion, but still, they did it well. I think this movie left me wanting more. Um, left me asking a lot more questions than getting answers. In my opinion, and it was just a little disappointing to that fact. Um, so yeah, I'd have to give this movie a 4 as well. No, no more music for me.
All right. Robert, we can hear the update tick.
Oh, bro, it's like everything is lagging on my computer right now. Like I am trying so hard. I don't know why.
Free
Like
bro.
every time, like my laptop, like
Ding. I thought I was
as soon as
getting
I-
texted. I'm like, bro, come on now.
every time I get like my laptop turns on, like it has like 5 minutes of like glitch. So yeah, that's what you heard. Yeah.
Free bro.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
sorry, Zach. But yeah,
That's
that's what happened.
perfectly fine. It's okay.
All right, Ethan.
Yeah.
Your thoughts.
Yay, my turn. I thought this movie was okay. I thought it was obviously a setup. Thomas, I hate you.
Sorry.
But no,
Let me
I
just
thought it was okay. I thought I was like in the movie, I was like, where was the Furious Five? I feel like having the Furious Five not in there at some capacity is a big letdown. I don't understand her becoming the next Dragon Warrior. I kind of don't get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it seems to me as if Poe is the first Dragon Warrior, and I thought he was the first Dragon Warrior.
Yeah.
And
doesn't-
I was assuming
Yeah, you're right.
that he was supposed to be the only Dragon Warrior, and that
Yeah.
the warrior that he would train up would be the next, like, kind of like the Dragon Warrior, but like in its own way. So like
I agree.
I thought they were gonna go like, because it's like, and it would be, I think, even in my opinion better if they were to go like the Dragon War, like go off the Chinese years. So like you got like the Dragon Warrior because there's the Year of the Dragon, and then it's like the year of the other like stuff because I don't remember all that other stuff. But I think it would have been cooler to have seen like the Blank Warrior, the Pig Warrior, like stuff like that. I think that would have been really cool. But I don't know. I just don't like the whole the next Dragon Warrior thing. I don't like that. So
Because we
and
don't really
then
see a Dragon Warrior before Poe, do we?
No,
No.
there is
No,
no
because
other
that
they're
Dragon
like
like-
War before
prophecy
Poe.
to get the dragon scroll, and
I
Is that like
also
a so that wasn't
It's-
mentioned like at
he's-
all?
Yeah, he's a whole prophesied character. Essentially, Oogway prophesied this presumably some time ago, or this was some prophesied. There was this prophesied warrior that would come to pass that would bring peace to the valley, and
Yeah.
that
what would
was
have been
found
like
out.
cooler
Yeah,
and
go
what would
ahead.
have been cooler with the movie is that you have like you have the five, right? You have
Mhm.
the Furious Five. If the Furious Five are off doing something, the five people that were there wanting to become the next Dragon Warrior, couldn't you have just trained them to be the next Furious Five?
No,
Because they're clearly looking for work. I mean, like what are they gonna do? Like, I'm just like, you could have literally made them the next Furious Five. I mean, you have the pig who can fly, you have the guy who has a lot of strength. There's like a few of them in there. Like I would have been like, dude, imagine a pig flying. Like that would have been so funny.
well, McDonald's
One-
always needs
well-
workers, so
Exactly. I mean,
Oh.
they also need a good ice cream machine. I'll tell you that much.
yeah.
One thing from this movie that like didn't really make sense to me was how you see Poe kind of be from like I guess they made the Valley of Peace like a little like I guess kind of small town where it's like it wasn't really that much of importance, which like raises questions because like everyone knows Uguay, so like why would Uguay be there if like he's not important? And like the three movies you see Poe become like this legend and yet they haven't heard of him, so it's like what
Yeah.
happened there. So I felt it felt inconsistent a little
Yeah,
bit,
well,
you know.
I think that was I think that was just a thing it was continuity just cut down for the sake of a joke. I think that was what it was for.
yeah,
It was just to
Probably.
be, it was
Yeah.
just to be a joke. And I get it, it did hit continuity because it doesn't make any sense. Because I think
Kinda
Kung
like
Fu
with
Panda
Kai.
2 happens across all of Kung Fu Panda 2 kind of happens with the peacock guy becoming the new emperor over parts of China, and that would be a big thing. Kung Fu Panda 3, this warrior Kai ends up taking out a whole bunch of warriors and essentially goes on just a
Feeling spree, I guess.
conquering
conquering is a
spree
better
of
word.
just gathering up the known kung fu warriors in the whole China. And
I feel like they
so,
would know Poe because like Poe beats that guy, you know.
yeah, well, he beats
Yeah.
Tai Lung, which was seen as a big threat, especially when they got released. And he would have been seen he would have been known for getting rid of the Kung Fu Panda 2 villain and the Kung Fu Panda 3 villain. That would have been well known. So,
Yeah. And the villains were done dirty.
yeah. Well,
This movie,
I
I'd
disagree
say it's
with
just
that.
wasted potential.
I
Really?
just think the chameleon just did a bad job.
yeah, well, there's a whole bunch of things that I
Because
kind of want
you
to get
can literally
into and
combine
discuss a little
into
bit more.
every single one, and you lost.
That's not what I mean. I mean like how the chameleon beats all those villains. Like
Well, not
so-
only that, but she says explicitly that she has no martial art prowess, and yet she's able to beat Tai Lung like that with relative
Yeah.
ease right off the bat. Whereas
It
I
is-
was hoping, if anything, that there was going to be a giant struggle for her to even get to that point.
like she almost
But-
dies or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, like she's
Well,
almost,
they only have an hour and a half pacing.
yeah, they only have an hour and a half to tell a good story. It's been done before,
3 times.
Many
in fact.
times. Yeah, many times.
at least 3 times. Yeah,
Also, Aquafina is the worst.
yeah. I'm getting.
Goes without saying, but like man,
Who's that?
I didn't really care for her acting that much already.
I
to
liked her
begin with,
more
but
here than in She-Hulk. I mean, not
Who's
She-Hulk.
that?
Shang-Chi. He was a
Well,
lot better in this
the
than
lady who
Shang-Chi.
plays the fox. Yeah, I already didn't care that much for her to begin with. And now that she's almost in they've almost putting her in everything for no apparent reason. I'm kind of just getting tired of listening to her just in general.
At least in this one, she's a criminal. Haha.
Then becomes a hero.
Yeah, and like there's so much that they could have done with this. Ethan, did you give a ranking for this?
No, but Robert was muted the whole time, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And he just started talking.
Yeah, I just realized.
So I would give this. I would honestly give it like a 4 or a 3, just because it's like, you know, movie.
I guess the question that is kind of a big thing for this movie, because this is kind of a big basis for Poe of moving on. Does there need to be another Dragon Warrior? Because I don't think there
Nope.
does need to be, considering that
Mhm.
one never existed before Poe. I thought Poe was going to be the only one that was kind of like prophesied to bring peace to the Valley of Peace.
Maybe Shifu. Maybe this is like Shifu saying, "Oh, I'm prophesying now. I'm the captain now."
No, he's more so giving Poe an
No, I
order
thought they
to
would've
There's
said
find
gonna be
one.
another one.
He's more so giving Poe an order to find one, unless like Shifu is like wanting to choose one of the Furious Five to carry on for Poe afterwards.
They just needed an excuse for more movies.
Well, they just need an excuse for Poe
And I don't
to
think
try to push Poe into this to like being more like Oogway, the spirit like mantle, which he's not. Andrew's already pointed out,
yeah,
and
he's
I
too
agree with
young
him.
for.
He's not there. He's not anywhere close to that yet.
Yeah.
So
Wisdom and knowledge and experience come with experience and time, and he's not going to get that forcefully. He
Yeah.
just needs to live.
agree.
and he's had some experiences like as seen with the movies and the TV show. Like he's had some experiences going through those, but
But it's not enough
been,
to be on that. It's not enough to be on that Uwe level.
No, he's still got
Yeah.
a long ways to go.
Mhm.
So I just don't see a reason for that other than for them to essentially make a giant plot to happen for Poe growing as a character that never really was needed beforehand. So
I mean, they are making a 5, so I don't. But the question is, where did they go from here? Like, it's obvious that there's gonna be another boss that they're gonna have to fight,
yeah,
and that wherever they go, they have to beat. It won't be Poe beating the boss; it'll be her.
no, it'll be more.
Yeah.
I would think it would still be. It's called Kung Fu Panda.
Or it's gonna be the both of them. Maybe I don't know.
No, it's going to be Kung Fu Fox from now on.
It's
Yeah, they're
Kung Fu
changing the
Panda.
name.
They're gonna keep it about Poe. There's no reason for them not to.
I don't know.
They should.
Yeah,
They should
well,
keep it about Poe,
they should
but
keep
you know
it
how these
about
things
Poe.
are,
We've
Payson.
seen other franchises not do that, but they should keep it about the main character that they had
Toy
previous.
Story.
There's a lot of things that like when you make it a legacy story, it could be good. This is not one of those things. Like
No, it is
there's
not.
like good legacy stories like Batman Beyond, different things like that. I can't think of other ones, but like you know what I'm saying. Like this one is just like
Lego Batman.
The
It's
first
only
thing
he
Batman,
says
is
just
Batman.
Batman.
yeah. Oh wait, no, Miles Morales, different things pretty
Eh,
much.
Superheroes, only superheroes.
Yeah, only superheroes. Well, I
No
mean, it's
real
kind of like
characters.
Incredibles.
whoa. But yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like this doesn't really need a legacy story.
No, it
Like
does
I would
not.
be interested in like a How to Train Your Dragon sequel with like Hiccup's kids and stuff. Like that would be interesting. But it's
I mean, they
like
kinda
this one, it
have-
just felt like
Yeah,
didn't wasn't really needed. Are they doing that with How to Train Your Dragon? I know they're making a
no, they
live
have
action.
more so like holiday specials and stuff where it's kind of showcased Hiccup and Astrid's kids
Oh, that's cool.
and one with Toothless, his wife and their kids kind of beforehand before they
Is that his
meet
wife?
at the end of the third film. So
How do
it's
dragon marriages work? Is that his wife?
So when a male dragon and a female dragon get
I'm
together,
not asking how the babies are made, Ethan. I'm asking how the marriages work.
so when a male dragon and a female,
I love
No.
this whole time. Andrew has just been like the same stone-faced man for every joke Ethan
Because
has
he's
said.
looking. Because I
It's
think he's
just-
partially
it's
looking
just-
up stuff.
he's
And he's
looking
not
up furry stuff. I
completely
think,
paying
I think.
attention.
I am paying full attention.
He is 100% focused on Ethan's
He is
dragon
zoned.
sex
No,
education.
he's probably prone to my jokes because he knows that they're lame.
Yep.
Okay,
Been
Ethan, we still love you.
desensitized.
His level of comedy is not to par with mine,
Yeah.
or my level of comedy is not to par with his.
Keep reaching, you'll find it. Keep reaching.
Might get there someday.
Yeah.
Reminds me of my
You're asking
dad.
too
Reach
much,
for the-
Zach.
Jump for the moon, you'll land among the
And my
stars.
creepy uncle.
However it goes. Okay. We don't have a creepy uncle.
Do now.
Wait, Zach.
Hey guys, it's time for you guys to meet Uncle Zach.
I don't want Zach to be my creepy furry uncle.
Back to Kung Fu Panda Part
Yeah, that's
4.
4
Or
videos.
Kung Fu Panda 4, whatever. It's not Part 4. It's not
Okay.
new.
Okay,
Kung
so
Fu Panda Part 4.
it's yeah. The whole thing was that it was a prophecy. There's no successor to prophecies. He's the Dragon Warrior. They didn't
Yeah.
need a second
Yeah.
Dragon Warrior.
Yeah,
The chosen
why you can't make a spiritual leader. You can't make that.
Yeah.
That is just something that in these stories, that is just something that happens over time and experience, and they learn how to lead and pass on the wisdom they've
Mhm.
learned
Yeah.
through their life. I understand the struggle they would have had, because the whole purpose of these movies is the growth and journey of Poe. And I feel like making a movie where he didn't have anything to overcome other than just like fighting another bad guy would have been
Mhm.
difficult, but also like have Poe the character go through something and overcome something and learn something about himself. And he really covered the bases in the first 3 movies, and they're without getting super creative or making the plot like they did, where it's now you essentially have to start over,
Yeah.
lose everything you just learned about yourself. Like, why?
Mhm.
Well, I think what they could have done, and I don't know if I briefly mentioned this to you, Thomas, but I think, or Ethan, but I think what they could have done was instead they could have used somewhat a similar plot with the chameleon taking one master that was not as good but still had some skill, taking over the skills from other masters and essentially stealing them from the spirit realm and usurping their abilities to then conquer China. And one of them happened to be Tai Lung, and then Tai Lung somehow escaping and then needing to go to Poe to then defeat this
Like a weird.
villain and
then,
kind of
like,
have
if-
that whole
if
dynamic.
they were
where-
buddy cops. That'd be
yeah,
cool,
and have that whole dynamic go along where you have the one guy who's resenting this character, the character that usurped him, and then kind of see them kind of come to a sort of resilience and more so mutual.
And that would have made sense for
understanding to
the
it-
that would have made sense for the end.
Yeah, and it would have made a good
When-
arc for not only Poe to somewhat come to it. Well, it would have more so been a character arc more so for Tai Lung, but that would have helped out with Poe for possibly later on in dealing with other villains.
And
I
then
don't.
after that entire character arc, you make Tai Lung the new Dragon Warrior. That would
No,
cool.
Tai Lung goes back
Yeah.
to the spirit
Oh,
realm, kind of
I also-
accepting that Poe is the Dragon Warrior.
I also had a massive problem with that. You can't take a character whose entire purpose was the fact that he's resentful that he's not the Dragon Warrior.
Yeah, and then he's just like,
kill
"Oh,
him,
I'm cool with Poe." now."
bring him back from the dead, and just expect him to be chill.
Yeah, which is why I'm thinking that if they would have done this kind of plot, that it would have been Tai Lung that would have gone back to seek Poe out because he's got no more fighting abilities and needed to come to terms with this is the guy he chose, kind of understanding Poe, because he never really got that in the first movie. So, I mean, it would have been an interesting
you're right,
dynamic
they
to see
could've-
them work.
An interesting
Yeah.
story would either been he has to team up with an old villain, kind of like Tai Lung, and earn his respect.
Yeah,
Or have the plot where be like Tai Lung has been watching the entire time. He's been watching from the spirit realm with his fight against Shen. He's been watching the spirit realm and was there when he beat Kai, and he uncovered something to like directly oppose his abilities, and now Poe has to figure out that out. We also haven't seen like any love story, and granted, it doesn't need it, but like
No.
that could have been another aspect of his personality that is undeveloped. He doesn't know how to like navigate that kind of relationship.
yeah. And
That
I
could
mean,
have
it's
been
kind of
interesting
hinted.
without forcing it.
Yeah, and it's kind of hinted too in the second and third film with Tigress, but it's never actually gone anywhere
I just
other
think
than
that was
just
more
maybe
just like
hinting.
that, like that's his best friend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't want Tigress to be a love interest. One thing that I will
I would
say,
want Tigress, but not for Poe.
one thing that I will say is that the first movie, you see him coming to terms with himself as the Dragon Warrior, and that like affects the final battle and how he's like growing, and that's how he defeats Tai Lung is because like there is no secret ingredient. He becomes that character. The second movie, he comes to terms with like his past and what Shang did to him, and so that's how he becomes. That's how he defeats Shin. And it's like, oh yeah, that, and they correlate. And the third one, it also correlates. He becomes a teacher, reconnects with his past, and connects with his chi, and that correlates. And then this one is just like there's no correlation. If he wanted to defeat the chameleon, he could have. He didn't need to find a success for that.
yeah,
Could have just him and the Furious Five could have defeated the chameleon. It's like they didn't correlate as much, and that makes like the whole movie just shallow. And this whole movie just felt like wasted potential, in
yeah.
my
And I
personal
also don't
opinion.
care that much for the character. I'm not talking about Aquafina voice, can't stand her, but the character that she plays, I don't mind her character growth to the end, but her character kind of doesn't make any sense. She's able to go toe to toe with the Dragon Warrior for a decent bit. However, at the beginning of it, we learn that he has a master that doesn't know anything about kung fu. So how it's never explained how she's able to fight this good. It's never explained how she's able to go toe to toe with Poe, the Dragon Warrior, at like his peak, because this is his peak
So
at the moment. Or
that
this is
is
the
one of
peak
the
that we
best
know so
points you've
far.
ever
And
made
so I'm
for
just
anything.
thank you, I guess.
You're welcome.
But
You're welcome.
it's just
I'm
it's
I
just
was
one of
I'm
those.
very surprised on how good of a point you just made.
It's just the plot doesn't make sense. It felt like they just read the character bios for these characters and decided to implement them into the movie without ever thinking through how everything would need to flow with these characters, what kind of things these characters have gone through, how would this progress Poe's journey into what I'm assuming would be the fifth movie, because they're not going to let this thing die yet, even though they kind of stabbed it a little bit with this one. But it's just those questions I don't think got asked, and I think it was just oh, here's a movie, let's put it out and see what happens. I don't think anybody really put any thought into it like they did with the first, second, and third film. It just didn't feel like enough care went into this. And Andrew's right; it does show a very drastic difference in feel for the movie. It doesn't feel quite like a Kung Fu Panda film. It just doesn't. So
It's just missing this pizzazz that it had.
it's missing the heart or the dumplings, as Ethan would say. It's missing the dumplings that made Kung Fu Panda Kung Fu Panda.
You know me too well.
It was missing the special ingredient.
Yeah. Even though there is no special ingredient, but it was missing.
For these movies, there was.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, there's
This
no
one,
secret ingredient, but they needed one.
it felt like they went too hard with a lot of the jokes and granted, at the beginning and some at the end, they did a lot of jokes. Not all of them landed, but they did a lot of jokes. However, they knew when to not do jokes towards the sort of serious portion, where Aquafina's character, because I can't for the heck of me care to remember her name, when she goes to try to stop Poe from essentially going to kill himself, or try to stop the chameleon lady who can somehow shapeshift and morph into other characters for some reason and get their masks, even though that's not really what chameleons do. I don't understand the chameleon villains, I'm gonna be honest. But
I mean, I get it. Like the point of like a chameleon can camouflage themselves and change their body by changing their color.
Yeah, but they
And
shouldn't be able to like
because
change their
the
shape.
chameleon's ability came from she was a sorcerer.
That
That's where
was
that came from.
They
that
vaguely
that
explained
felt
it,
like
yeah.
they vaguely
For-
said that in order to kind of get away with all the stuff that they had done previously, because I don't think that was brought up until maybe the third act, and that was it.
Yeah, that's what they
Like
did.
nothing is ever brought
for
up.
the recording.
Oh, Ethan.
Well,
Yes.
it's one of those.
Uh,
It's one of those things where
Who's gonna speak?
Aquafina plays Zen.
Yes.
Oh,
That's the name of the character.
thank you, Ethan.
Zen.
She who must not be named.
Zen. Zhen.
Zach has so much to say here, but he's not going to. Anyway, lack of
Ethan,
mustache
we know-
confirms.
Ethan, we know.
I have a
Montana.
mustache. You just can't see it. It's because it's blonde.
It's because a cat can lick it off.
I haven't heard that one before. I like that.
Got you.
Kung Fu Panda
good.
4. Is anybody?
I mean, we've said what we need to say. It's a bad movie. Watch it. If
I
you
got
want to,
another
you know?
question.
But Robert
You'll
Whatever
give
gave it
us-
a
happened
7.
to that fifth guy at the beginning that was at the table?
What?
You know, like there's the 5 people that all seem to be like mob bosses that meet at the table, and
Oh,
then
the
one
guy
of them
that got
turns
his
out
butt
to be the
whipped?
change or the chameleon.
Yeah, the one
What
that fell down the
happens to
stairs.
that fifth guy?
Oh.
Because that
He
you
becomes
assume
a
there's a
chameleon.
fifth
Closet
mob
somewhere.
boss guy that has met with these guys before, but all of a sudden
the
he just
chameleon the whole time.
disappears. He's never
No.
there.
Probably
It's the chameleon.
Must
ran away.
I don't know.
in the words
that
in the
just seemed
words
odd to me.
of
Like it seemed like
in
it
the
just
A lot
wanted
of
to be like a
things.
reveal, but it was the most weird thing of a reveal ever for the character.
in
A lot of
in
plot
the
things
words. Hold on.
happened that were weird.
Hold on, real quick.
I mean, I'm not saying
Give me
that
a sec.
that's just the one that caught my eye the first.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying, Thomas, but that's the one that caught my eye first. Was like, oh yeah, that never gets resolved.
yeah. I mean, I feel like that's like a staple for this whole movie. But maybe
Pretty
maybe
much.
we'll see something in the next couple, but I doubt it.
My thing is like, if you look at the Flash series on Netflix, in that one episode where Barry goes to Earth 2 or whatever, and the Barry in Earth 2 gets tied up and put in a closet. I wonder if it was just that simple. Like he just got tied
yeah,
up,
he
put
just
in a
got-
closet, and replaced.
Yeah,
Of course, they never disclosed
didn't-
that, but
he
Yeah,
didn't
well, that's the
matter
thing,
that
though. I would have
much,
liked to have seen
probably.
that happen, because then that would have like answered the question. But now it's like, okay, that went unanswered
We may
for
not-
no apparent reason.
We
Yeah.
may never. We may
Something
never
that
know.
could have just taken 2 seconds
So
to show.
so what I think
He's
what
probably
happened
still
to
in the
that mob
closet,
boss guy.
just
That's
like
true.
Ethan.
Yeah, Jack
I
Black
don't have a pan.
cannot half-ass a role.
Does anyone have a
He's-
pan?
He
He's the
can.
main character in the Minecraft movie that's in development. And I've been
Seriously?
seeing,
There's a Minecraft movie?
yeah.
I would watch it just for him.
I think he's
Jason
playing,
Momoa is going to be a villager.
yeah. Kristen,
frick?
not Kristen Chenoweth.
Hmm.
Oh, there's a woman with a very iconic voice, and I can't remember. but her
Kristen
name.
Bell.
No, not
What's
that's
her-
Jack Black
Wow,
does.
Super
Jennifer
Mario
Coolidge.
Brothers kicked a hornet's
Jennifer
nest.
Coolidge. Jennifer Coolidge is also in it, which is interesting.
You
But
said
Jack
Jennifer
Black's in it,
Cooler?
and like he can't half-ass roll. I've seen him in interviews talking about like how he's been playing the game nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd believe
Jack
it.
Black feels kind of like J.K. Simmons, and where like everything that they're in, they do like to the best of their ability. They don't
Yeah.
like just kind of. They don't do like
He
pieces
just
like
likes
just for
having
money.
fun, and he likes finding
Yeah.
fun in everything he does, and I love it.
Yeah,
The whole movie gets a point just for like the end credit scene with like him singing that one song. That was so fun just to watch, listen to.
Yeah,
He's great.
he is a gem.
I'm sure.
Jennifer person's built
Jack,
like
if
a
you're
cooler.
watching, have
That's
a good
funny.
one. I know he's watching
Thank you.
this. Have a good one. you know?
Jablinski Games, I love you.
so
Yeah, I mean,
We're just shouting out our heroes at this point.
yeah,
Well, that
The
is
Rock.
Jack Black.
Dwayne Johnson, salute.
yeah. I know.
Shout
I
out to
know who it
Payson's
is.
hero, which is James Charles.
what?
He's
can see
probably
it.
put on makeup the least out of anyone in this video.
That is very true.
I know Rose
No.
has made you, Ethan. 100%.
No,
100%.
I'm happy
100%.
she hasn't either.
Ethan, stop
I'll have
lying.
to
Your
talk to her.
mascara is running.
Okay, look here, Buster Brown.
I think Andrew has the most.
That's verified.
Are we?
Oh,
Have we
someday.
basically said our piece about Kung Fu Panda 4?
Oh yeah.
I have.
What's Kung Fu
Um,
Panda 4?
It's
A
a
bad movie that apparently
Uh,
Asians
A
like
good but
eating?
not great movie. Whoa, Ethan, watch out. A good but not a good but not great movie.
All I heard was Asians, and I just like it took me
I
a
think
second
the
to process that.
I think the posters for Kung Fu Panda 4 are going to become the new placemats at the Chinese restaurant
There you go.
because there's no other reason why.
Hey,
Man, I
Mr.
can't-
Ping is going to be using them for all his marketing.
Oh yeah,
So-
for sure. Ping's Noodle Shop. They need to have that at
Where the Wi-Fi is good.
what is the is Kung Fu Panda Universal or Paramount?
It's a
Universal.
movie.
Okay, they need to have a Ping's Noodle Shop
Yeah,
at
I think if
Universal
you-
Studios.
I believe
That'd
it's
be
Universal.
good.
Oh yeah.
That'd be funny.
Well,
Just do
Kung
it.
Fu Panda is DreamWorks, and Universal owns DreamWorks.
Okay,
Yeah.
they need to
Oh,
have
because
a
they had that
Ping's-
little.
Actually,
That'd be funny if they had a Ping's Noodle Shop in one of the new parks that they're doing. That'd be funny as
Mhm.
heck.
The best noodles around.
Every time you go in, you get a free coupon, but the coupon does nothing.
you just get it.
It'd be just
You
like
just get
it'd be
cheaper.
just like the noodle shop.
Thank you everyone for watching this episode of Galactic Reviews. We had some fun guests and friends this time. I think we might do this more often. Might do this more often just because it was fun and we got off on tangents, even though it took 2 meetings to record it all. Instead of as much as I'd like to do Dune 2 again. I think if y'all are okay with the horror movie, I really want to see the new Imaginary movie that's out.
Sounds good to me.
Me too.
Sweet. It looks fun. It also looks like it could be pretty bad, but it looks like it could be fun. I'm
be
looking
fair,
forward to
that's-
either
Tired.
hating it or thinking it's hilarious.
To be
Anyways,
fair,
we'll see you next time.
Bye.
why does Ethan look like Fozzie Bear, like as a Muppet? You know what I mean?
Ethan.
What?